It's a really emotional moment there. I got to say, From Russia with Lev is a must watch. That final scene with Lev and Hunter Biden is really emotional and it's really incredible. And he's nice enough to join us right now on the show. He's been on the show before. Always love talking with him. Lev Parnas joining us right now. Lev, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Brian. I'm doing wonderful. My pleasure is mine. I love to be here with the audience. I'm actually in
Thank you.
Washington, D.C. right now. We have our last premiere today in Washington, D.C. It's all sold out, so excited. We have a nice panel also. Me and Rachel are going to be doing a panel after the showing today. So anybody in D.C., come on out, come and join us.
Very cool. I'm happy to hear that, Lev, and I appreciate you and your honesty. I want to ask you this. When you learned that you were going to be sitting face to face with Hunter Biden, what went through your mind and what went through your mind the second you met him and you spoke with him?
Well, when I first learned that that he accepted to meet with me and accepted to, I didn't know what to expect. I was very nervous because you have to understand I'm the root of all his evil. I The things that we ginned up and the propaganda that we push started all of this man's problems. He was not somebody that was running for president. He was not running for any political office. He was just a target, a son of a sitting president that we used. And over the years, I started realizing, because I'm a father and I'm a son, and I started realizing how painful the humanity of it was, because I never looked at him as a human. I looked at him as a mark. We looked at him as just somewhere, just, and so I didn't know what to expect. I'll tell you honest, Brian. And to have him embrace me the way he did, to have him forgive me, to have him say those words, I could tell you, I don't want to talk too much about it because I think it's at the right time, Hunter. You'll hear it in his own words, and I'll leave that story for him one day or for us to both discuss. But I could tell you it was just something I'll never forget. And even to now, like when you play it, I get emotional because to see the strength in a person that is still looking at right now. I mean, he's looking to be sentenced, over 10 years in prison for things that I brought upon him. And to put that aside and to be able to forgive me, I think that's one of the most powerful messages of this movie. About forgiveness, about unity, about being able to, because after November 5th, guys, we're going to have to get our country back. We're going to have to end this division. So I think that was just powerful.
Very powerful moment when I saw that scene when you were speaking with him and you got emotional. This might be a difficult question, but I mean, do you feel like Joe Biden should pardon Hunter?
In my opinion,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it would be a travesty if he didn't, because what Hunter did, what people don't understand, is Hunter took a lot of heat because Joe Biden was president, because he couldn't talk, he couldn't have a voice. He had to sit there and take the abuse that we were pushing, the propaganda, the lies, because otherwise it would be too much of a deal because his father was president. So Hunter actually took one for the team, yes, you could say it. He
Yeah.
we couldn't get to Joe, so we went after Hunter. So I definitely think that, especially for the charges that they ended up charging him with, that gun charge and the tax charge, which we know most Americans would never get charged with if his name wasn't Hunter Biden.
Correct.
So
Correct. I
yes,
agree.
absolutely, I
Lev,
definitely.
what was it like, Lev, off camera? I mean, I don't know how much time you spent around Hunter, but obviously we see on camera both of you seem to be very genuine and it was very special to watch. But off camera, like did he say anything to you
Yeah.
off camera that you would like to share with us? What was he like off camera?
I mean, I'll leave most of the story when he's ready to come out with it. But one thing I definitely would like to share with you guys is you're gonna get to know the real Hunter Biden. What you saw at the ending, the slip, you got a little taste of who Hunter Biden is, because for the past 4 years or maybe even 8 years, I don't know how long it's been. All you've heard is all these rotten, nasty things about Hunter Biden that we pushed and we put in the media, and people have a perception of him. But who Hunter Biden is, he's a Yale graduate, he's a lawyer, he's a very intelligent man. He has a father, he is a father, has a wife, a family, kids, and he's very intelligent. And so I think when you hear Hunter come out and really speak and talk about what really happened and the truth, I think the country's going to get amazed. And I hope, and I'm actually very happy that we were able to capture this on camera, because that's really the first time in how many years that the country's got to hear Hunter Biden's voice.
Yeah, that's also a very good point. What has it been like getting to know and working with Rachel Maddow?
Oh, she's amazing. I mean, you gotta understand. Me and Rachel go back a long way. My very first interview I did with her, and there's a little back. I'll give you the background story to it. So when I was in Trump world, Rachel Maddow was our enemy number one, and because she was the smartest and most diligent journalist out there, and she really knew her stuff. So you wouldn't even be able to watch Rachel Maddow in my house. Like if I came in and there was MSNBC, it would be cut off. And when it was time for me, when I would decide to do that first interview 5 years ago, it was down to either Rachel Maddow or Anderson Cooper. So I called my wife. I said, "Babe, who do I go do the interview with?" And she said, "Are you kidding me? Of course, Rachel Maddow, because they're gonna hate Rachel Maddow's envy." And so that was the first interview we did. And I tell you, when I got to meet her, because I saw her on TV, but when I got to meet her and really understand how intelligent and how she knew what was going on, I was so happy that I chose to do the interview with her. And then to find out, like I haven't seen her in 4 years, when Billy called me up and said Rachel has jumped on this project to be the executive producer and took this on as her first project, as her baby, I can't even tell you how joyous I was, because if I had a choice, it would have been her, and I couldn't even imagine, the way God put all of this together. So
So cool.
and she's great. Yeah, she's great.
That's so nice to hear. I want to use a little sports analogy, maybe, and you can tell me whether you agree or not, to compare your situation. Like when you see somebody in a basketball game, they have to make 2 free throws to win a game for their team, and they choke. They say they never really truly get over it until they're put back in that situation, and then they make those free throws. Would you say in your situation it's similar in a sense that you felt a lot of guilt, of course, for what you did, and then you finally get to meet Hunter Biden and you get that apology accepted? He hugs you. Do you feel the same as you would with that sports analogy where you got that weight lifted off your shoulders? Is that fair to say?
I think it's even bigger than that, but I agree with you. If we were going to go
Right.
sports, that's a perfect analogy. But yeah, in sports, there's still another day in life, and
Right.
it's a lot bigger than that. So I'll tell you, I can't even rate it, because like I never dreamed of that ever happening. And that's why you see me in the movie when that shot was taken about me saying one day I want to apologize to Hunter Biden. That was several years ago. That
Right.
was never even in the plans. And like Rachel said, there was a different ending to the story, to the movie that they were coming out. And literally 2 weeks before the movie, they had to give the final cut in. I called them
Mhm.
up and said, I'm going to go see Hunter. And they never believed me. Rachel didn't even put it on her calendar. She said, "All right, and I want a pony. You're going to go see Hunter. He's going to punch you in the
So
face." I
Rachel
said,
didn't believe you. She didn't believe you when you said you were
nobody
going to go
believed me.
speak.
Yeah, nobody.
Wow.
They didn't believe me until literally 30 minutes before we met, when Secret Service called and said, "It's good. You guys can come in." That's
Wow.
when
That's
Billy called
incredible.
me. I said, "This is really happening." I said, "Yeah, I know. I told you." And it was like,
And that what a man he is to be able to even do that. And I'm glad that went as well as it did for both of you, quite frankly. Moving forward now, since you testified in front of Congress, we've talked about this before. Have you had any threats? Have you had any interaction from anybody around Donald Trump's orbit?
I'll tell you, after I testified in Congress, yes, there was a lot of especially social media. We had some also people that reached out to me personally through the telephone, which we had to contact the authorities. But I'll tell you, after the movie came out, the most fascinating thing, it's been so positive, and it's been so positive not just from every side, from the left, from the right. I mean, and the crazy part, Brian, what I want everybody to know is the deafening silence from Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and all of these people that were in the movie. Nothing, not a response. It's been 72 hours, and it's been crickets. And I've been hearing there's reports out that the GOP is up in arms trying to figure out how to respond to this fallout.
Mhm.
And basically, Trump's team is saying divert, reflect, deflect, and basically we'll change the news cycle. So
Lev, does
I
it
think,
bother you?
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just going to
No,
say,
no.
does it bother you, Lev, that the Rudy Giulianis of the world and Donald Trump and those people have never, been convicted? They're not behind bars. You had to pay for what you did. And a guy like Rudy Giuliani, even though he's filed for bankruptcy and we know he's a ruined man, he's never had to go to jail. He's still never really had to pay the price for what he did. Does that bother you at all?
What bothers me more, I don't wish jail on anybody, because jail is inhumane, and I think Rudy is paying a price, will pay a price, and I think the final years of his life. He's going to continue paying a price for everything he did. And I truly believe he will end up in jail. But I don't wish it upon anybody because it's inhumane. What I'm more upset with and more is that the way they hid the truth from the American public, because by hiding the truth, by denying it, it allowed so many more bad things to happen in our history. I mean, just think about it. If those senators in the GOP had a backbone, if the DOJ had somebody in there strong enough to stand up to Bill Barr, and if they would have allowed me to testify in the first impeachment, we would have never had January 6th. We would have never had all these problems that we're dealing with today. So just think about the chain of events that has been going on, and that's the frustration. The frustration is knowing that I had the evidence to be able to stop it, but because I was dealing with such high forces, it was impossible. And that's why I'm blessed that now it's coming out and it's finally getting validated, and at the most crucial time before our elections.
Lev, if you had the opportunity and you were in a room right now with Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani in private, I'm curious, what would you say to them, if anything?
I said, what do you think about the movie, boys?
What do you think they would say?
I think they're Rudy's scared to go to Mar-a-Lago because there's a bottle of ketchup that go towards his head.
You're probably right. There'd be ketchup being thrown everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, Lev, I'm really happy for you. I'm happy that you had that opportunity to have that moment with Hunter Biden. I think that's really important to move forward. You're a good guy. We're all not perfect, but as Hunter Biden said, we all deserve a second chance. You got it. And there's a lot of people, including myself, that are very proud of you for speaking truth and honesty. What you have done is not an easy thing to do. And history will be on your side. And let's hope Trump never sees the White House again. But Lev, love to have you on again, maybe before the elections. I know you're a busy guy.
Absolutely.
Good luck tonight with that premiere with Rachel Maddow, and job well done, my friend. I appreciate you coming on, and have fun out there in DC. Okay.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you for having me. And the one message I'd like to leave with the whole audience is the next 40 days. It's very important. It's the most important elections. I am his kryptonite. Remember that. So don't let them change the news cycle. Let them get that movie out, get the book out, get the word. I'll be on all of the swing states. I promise you, we're going to do everything possible for him not to win. And thank you for all the support, Brian.
Thank you, Lev. Keep up the great work, my friend. Appreciate you. That's Lev Parnas, everybody. Great documentary. Rachel Maddow, of course, was a huge part of. Lev is a great guy.